revised it a couple of times since. It's called Underwear Poem. I write my best poetry when the sun sleeps and only artificial light remains, when I'm lost in nostalgic memories or imagining what my life will be. I write my best verses when I battle out the pros and cons, or the parts of me that can be put into the categories of both blessing and curse. When I'm bouncing from stars to make my metaphorical Mars, just to drink some imported shine from the moon, to taste the artificial inspiration. But this is not one of those poems. This is the type of poem I write in nothing but my underwear, hoping to find some of my soul to bear, but come up with nothing more than thoughts that might make your mama's cheeks blush and the face of your priest flush. The type of poem I write to distract myself from picturing you in nothing but your underwear, laying in my bed with all that skin to bear, but I don't think it's working. So I might as well give up the fight and just imagine you for the rest of the night. So this is another one that I wrote during one of those little blurbs where I was breaking through the writer's block, and it's called Cloud Dweller, which also seems kind of appropriate for the day. Raindrops drip on my skin, seep into my pores, and I am one with the clouds. Isn't that where you said you live? With the dreamers and the believers, and the planes taking people to and from vacations and loved ones, funerals and births, work and hiatus, lives worth living, and well, raindrops drip on my skin, seep into my pores and moisten the truth, soften the pages of my notebook where I teach myself how words can become bandages, just like a song can still heal even as the band ages, and how the same song can change even if change its meaning with the tempo. And I am bracing myself for the fast forward button that has been hit on my life upon the sounding of the alarm this morning. I am nakedly jumping in, letting the raindrops drip on every inch of my skin, powerless against the waiting line, taking time's hand in my own, praying for pardon as he turns his cheek and sends me away. Time is killing me, and I am running out of ways to kill the time. I'm just hopelessly waiting for the news, waiting for the letter, the decision. There is so much to lose. In these moments before forcing my mind to go blank, I go back to the beginning. Like the day it rained so hard, I was convinced that all of Philly would flood. My flip-flop attacked my toe as if the blood could make the sun return, and you let the soles of your feet touch the dirty concrete every step back for the 12 block walk back to the train station just to keep my blistered digit clean. When we finally took coverage from the storm, you doctored me whole despite your phobia of feet, and you said you must really like me, and I said, that makes me happy. For the rest of the week, my toe was black, but my cheeks were red from all your flattery. Yes, my toe was ugly, but you have always been beautiful. There are some things that time can just not change. I'm a compilation of words inked on stacked pages. You are the weight, holding them close, stronger than a staple, more permanent than a binding. You keep me complete. And as the raindrops drip on my skin and seep into my pores, I know it's you, my love, falling closer to me. Because it was you that said you live in the clouds among the dreamers and the believers. And the more you fall, the more faith I have in prudence, the more faith I find in time. Yeah. O'clock in the morning for this event. I was like, all right, I'll get up, I'll go, I'll see him. It should be worth it. It wasn't worth it. So it's called Breaking the Block in 3 parts, and it begins starting talking about this guy who was supposed to be really exciting to watch and fell flat. Part 1, the poet. I got out of bed in hopes of being moved, atonement for ending my dreaming too soon, leaving my own whimsical world to be thrust into that of a brother of the pen. But the lone poet behind the podium is preaching about the performance, and he's got no soul. He has his graffiti shirt and Kangol hat covering his bald head. He has square diamond earrings and a manicured goatee, thinking he's some fly OG from the streets of Pennsylvania. He asks if there's any questions about his work, and I want to stand up and ask him to step away from the mic, step away from the podium, and step away from the page and move into the center of the stage. I want to ask him to walk away from the shields that protect him over in the corner, stage left, my right. I want to ask him to fill up this space with the kind of spirit that will make the hearts in this room expand with love or inspiration or sadness or something, anything to make this room feel small simply because he is in it. I want his words to linger in the air as he blows them out, and we breathe them in. He, our tree, we, his sun, both radiating in energy like we could save someone, but no. He reads from his books and cracks his jokes. He kills the mood and whispers his poems. sense of how to be in your face, just regurgitating style from the rule book. He must have been first in his class of Performance 101, but he never learned how to make the audience have fun. It's just not right. I left. Part 2, the pen. By the power vested in me by the ink of this vessel and the sound of my own voice, I now pronounce you void of writer's block. You may now kiss the page and reignite your relationship. This is your official nuptials. Shake hands with forward motion. Tip your hat to time. Breathe in this fall air and overcome emptiness. I've become a nomad, hunting my fears, gathering still life, storing them up in the spaces between my ears as I go down the stretch of land, my confidence a yo-yo, never fully sure that I can, just taking another little engine to another soiled destination, looking for the smallest bit of motivation to take a final picture and call it my own, live within the frame 3 by 5 by eternity, because the clocks will come back someday, and the clouds will come back someday, and soon the rain will turn to snow and cloak over everything. The streets will disappear, along with the curbs and the empty bottles of beer. The flood will cease, but the ice will hinder peace. Crystals will hang from our eyelashes, blurring our vision, making us forget what true love looks like. And the only thing that can melt it is passion. Part 3, the pear. If I told you it would take more artistic precision than John DeAndrea, more musical genius than Coltrane, more vast perfection than the ocean, more natural elegance than a sunset, just to capture the way your eyes, mouth, and face change shape to spell out, I love you. Every time you look my way, you wouldn't believe me, but the only time I lie is when I am next to you. You take my pen, connect the dots on my body, leaving your mark all over my skin, filling in the parts of me, drawing a map of perfection, painting over my preconceived notion of what love is. Because ever since I looked into your eyes, I have been seeing stories in a Crayola sky, shifting and floating, childlike imagery, ever-changing in the collecting waters waiting to drop. And I believe we can transcend the confounds and limits of living on land, that we can live within the static, high above power lines, floating like clouds in a summer sky. But once children look up at and say, Mommy, it looks like love. Before the clouds break and the rain pours passion over everyone, I am your tree. You are my sun. This has only just begun.
Woo!
For the position of a poet in this event that we had at my school, it was all about music and the appreciation of music, and so I was like, all right, I'll try. I could pull something together. So I go, and they're like, all right, we like you, we'd love for you to be involved, but you need to write a piece that's actually about music. And I was like, okay, let's see what I can come up with. And I revisited a piece that I had written years ago, and this is what I came up with, and it's called If I Were a Song. If I were a song, my heart would harp on birthing bumping bass lines, head bobbing and feet stomping. My heads would climb to a climactic crescendo. Rewind. If I were a song, my heart would harp on birthing bumping bass lines, head bobbing and feet stomping. My steps would climb to a climactic comfortable crescendo, creating the rising desiring in all of us to give authorizations to aberrations and sanction the exploration of a world without insecurities as we simply glide gracefully or maybe goofy amongst our diligent daily dance partners. See, if I were a song, my soul would murmur a mellow melody reminiscent of a modest holiday where happiness harmonizes humbly at the horizon, and my words, oh, my words like fireflies would faintly whisper the simple secrets of a fruitful life. My words like the seeds surrounded by pulp, ready to be picked, polished, and planted in a poet's garden, guarded by galumphing gargoyles while the tulips parted. My words would be the smile upon which the verses lay aloft, the licked lips of the lyricist, and within the chorus would be comprised of my countenance. The turntablist leaves scratches on the concrete as he tries to capture the autumn of my irises. The joyous djembes jam away like babies beating beach buckets amongst the summer sand shades of my skin. The pleasurable polyrhythms pumped each word with its own personality like a winter snowflake fluttering from the pulp of my lips. The catchy, calming, quirky, encouraging conversation of the tune springs forth a showering invitation like my charming, fickle freckles. There would be a guitar riff of regrets, a piano solo of sacred memories, and no falsetto, since my song would settle for no less than being sung by the masses he nestles with. It would be a song that everyone could pair with, and there would be no song to compare it with. It would be an auto anomaly, all of its own. But you see, I don't have to be a song, because my life is a symphony. It's already made up of music and rhythm. Every day is a new verse. Every night calls forth the chorus. Every step is a new note, and every year marks a new movement. And most of all, each person in my life is a different instrument, helping me build an opus of optimism, arranging the colors of my aura. Without them, I would be nothing more than a troubadour, wandering the streets alone. So if it were up to me, I would spin the track back to when the earth was flat and dance on vinyl, so we could record our steps as the bass line still beats an undertone of gratitude for those who take the time to learn and perform and build up my symphony. I thank you for taking the time to create with me. And with one final great big gasping breath, we blow our worries to the wind over the edge of the map, and then we play it all back, listening as our hearts beat in time with the track. Thank you. Thank you for your time.